Oh,
Thank you for that.
what's up, people? We're back. We're here again. Episode 534 of Horror Research 30. And I just realized this is the third episode of the year. I'm over here telling myself earlier today, I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, this is already the second episode of the year? I'm like, nope. Three. And we are going to be discussing The Dead Don't Die. I have some.
Hopefully, briefly.
We'll see.
A lot of stars in this, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
This is a great movie to open yourself up to a truly fantastic director that this does not really represent.
Agreed.
Speaking of fantastic directors, rest in peace to
David Lynch
and Bob Uecker. You know,
Yes.
give the man his credit too.
Rest in peace to both.
I didn't hear about Bob, actually.
He passed away too. Just a bit outside. I watched Major League with my son tonight, his first watch. So
Very cool.
Nice.
in honor of the man. I'm not watching any Lynch with him.
You're like, no, I'm good.
I love Lynch. Lynch is to me, Wes. You get the quirky tiers. All right, you get Wes Anderson, who is quirky with substance. And you get David Lynch, who is quirky, who teeters on the line of no substance at all. Like most of his themes are shower thoughts. And then you have Jarmusch, who is like very pretty but no substance at all.
I wouldn't say no substance. I mean, yeah, but
I did like that Tom Waits was in this movie.
yes.
That
Tom Waits is in his early movies.
Wait, are we live?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
shit!
yeah.
I stopped your intro. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. I'm done with the end. We're already talking about it. But no, with the whole David Lynch thing, I will show you guys something which I did share with you, Mick. That my brother drew up. He was a David Lynch fan. My brother John, who has been on this show before, who is he has some very awesome art. But he did this.
Oh, beautiful.
That is awesome.
And then this.
Oh, nice.
I like that.
But actually, Trevor, I got to show you my brother's art because he is very unique with his art. You can ask Mick this. Very unique, very different, very strange and weird, and I freaking love it.
No,
like he's
very not cool.
I'm
curious to learn more.
Very sci-fi based.
He used to work for Disney years ago. I don't remember like what he's worked on. His wife worked on like a couple of Disney and Pixar. I believe she still works for Pixar with like lighting and stuff. But like he made that character right there in the circle, the Sir Sturdy. He made me like the. Hang on, actually, let me show you guys.
This podcast is brought to you by The Letter Quiet.
It's brought to you by Sturdy's Sexatorium.
You guys are all professionals, so I know you would just pick it up for me with jokes or whatever. But this right here,
that is awesome.
That is awesome.
He made it. The cool thing about it is he made this right.
Looks like it has nipple rings.
Before we ever met in person, we met in person last year, or the year before last. Anyway, he hit me up and he was like, "Hey," he was like, "Would it be cool if I sent you this?" I was like, "Hell yeah!" And from that, like after he sent me that and gave that to me, I was like, "Okay, now would it be cool if I use this as my logo for my podcast? He'd do whatever you want with it." So I was like, "Cool," and so that's like my mascot / logo for Horror with Sir Sturdy. And it's a one of one, so if you ever any motherfuckers try to steal it,
I hope your brother sells the original sculpture or the artwork. Like
this is the original sculpture right here.
Fuck, I want him to
See
sell
this?
it for you. Sell it on you, so that way you're using it. Some rich person's like, you can't have it. Get it out of there. I saw it on your show, so I purchased it.
Yeah, you have to buy it from me, but guess what? It's not for sale.
I love it. I'm just kidding. I always thought that was awesome.
Oh, I know. And did you announce the whole thingamabob yet, Mick?
Yeah, Casters for a Cause.
Yes,
Still getting it
yes.
together. It's going to be on. Oh my god.
Cool.
February 1st.
No, February 1st. Did you
Yeah,
say
yeah, we
February?
got a couple more
February
weeks, right?
1st. I just said February 1st. No, February 1st. You have to hear from the white man.
I thought you said January 1st. I'm sorry.
January 1st already passed.
I think I just want to go back in time.
It was a great show.
It was. January 1st was a good time. We had a good time on here January 1st for the first zombie movie we kicked that off with. But no, we are doing Casters for a Cause. It's going to be a marathon. It's going to be some fun thing. We're starting at 3 p.m. Eastern time and going till 1 a.m. Eastern time. And it's going to be a long, fun show.
Cool.
But you guys should kick in. And if you can afford to help with the charity, please help donate to big shout out to LA or you know. And that's the only time I'm going to do it for LA because fuck the Rams. I want them to lose Sunday. But seriously though, with the LA fires, if you can help, you should help. And don't call out celebrities that are donating money, especially if you haven't donated a fucking dollar. Because I'm tired of. I hate when people do that shit. Why don't they donate more? I think it's selfish of people doing that. They donated their money. It doesn't matter how much they donate. They actually did something. Those that are saying, why aren't they donating more?
Majority of the time, it's like hundreds of thousands or $1 million. Like, can you donate $1 million?
No, can you donate $1? Can you donate $5? Like, I hate when people do that shit. The government should be the ones doing a hell of a fucking lot more, but us as people need to come together and help others when they're down. And right now, California needs our help. LA needs our help. And if you can help. And make sure you guys tune in, get some laughs, and help donate. February 1st. It's going to be a great time.
Yep.
For a great cause.
Well, I mean, just real kind of tie that together. So one director that is been notoriously connected to Los Angeles was David Lynch. And he was in Los Angeles when he passed away. I do know that from what I've been able to pick up. But this could be maybe a controversial statement, but I feel that Lynch can almost be put beside Louis Buñuel as far as, putting surrealism out there and having it accepted in a way that, was groundbreaking. Now, very different artist, but I feel that's where that term Lynchian comes in. And Lynchian is, it's like an amoeba. It could be anything but a feel. And I think that's what's really special and what's, I think we're really going to miss about David Lynch. Like Louis Buñuel, his world was out there and surreal, but it definitely had at times more of a magical realism that was centered in humanity. So there, I just had to say that about the late David Lynch.
Oh, no. Go ahead. If you have anything you want to say about him too, Mick, because I know you guys know a lot more about him than I do. And speaking for James, kind of, probably maybe more than James does too. If you have anything you want to say, please do. Especially with you working in the. Actually, I also want to hear from you as far as like your ties to if you were in LA. I don't know California at all, but when you worked out there and how it's affecting you. You know what I mean? Just with that, of course, with the sadness of it, but of course, I'm sure you have personal ties to it as well.
Well, it was an adopted city for a while, and I always appreciated it because that was always a goal to live in that city for me, and be a part of the film industry and the culture. So, and a lot of people think that LA doesn't have culture, and it's very, 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 very far from the truth. It is so many cultural backgrounds all coming together that has formed this thing. It truly is sort of a melting pot of culture. I mean, you can go to different parts and feel different ways, and it's just truly a beautiful, beautiful city. I love it. It's my second favorite city in the world. Of course, McManhattan would have another one in mind for number one, but
New Jersey, we know. Well, the state. Brick City.
I love where I'm from. I'm not from Brick City.
Brick
City, Jersey City.
Jersey City. Oh, thank you, sir. You got to know your trivia, so get your guests in line. No, so I don't want to draw on or anything like that. I loved it. Getting an In-N-Out burger with my buddy, late nights, or I don't think it's around. anymore, but Lucky's Tavern had the best burgers ever. I loved going down to Venice and just that whole like sort of other alternative culture that there was always such a beautiful place to be around. And I shot things there and shooting videos,
film, not gang.
We shot, I shot an unaired pilot. We went down there. I did a lot of photography down there and stuff like that. So the whole city, like I used to every Sunday morning, now you got me going, you dick. Because let me tell you something about LA if you live there. Yeah, on normal days, Sunday mornings, if you want to go anywhere from like 6 a.m. until, I'm saying maybe 11 or 12, you can go anywhere, no problem, no traffic. You can get there. You can dart there real fast. You can walk around. You can get anything you need. Park anywhere you want to park. And it's no problem because nobody's on the road. Nobody was around. And that was when I'd go out, I'd get my bagel, and I'd go sightseeing wherever I wanted to go. Like I visited, and if you know, what are her names? Laurel and Hardy, The Music Box, I think is a brilliant comedy short film if you haven't seen it. And there's a staircase. And it's an immense long staircase, and I got to go visit it, and stuff like that, awesome. And just kind of see what it looks like now. I go and see the Back to the Future houses and stuff like that. I'm going on and on, but I do. That's because the more that it comes on, the more I think about it. I did love my time in LA. I remember when I was writing a horror movie for my boss, I would just, for inspiration, go walk down Orange Grove, and that's where you had the Halloween house and you had the Nightmare on Elm Street house, and like they're same block and stuff like that. Just walk around and feel like the vibe of horror, that was horror greatness on that. Going to Griffin Observatory and walking those hills and stuff like that. Those just amazing places that I love that city, and I so sad to see it hurting right now.
Well, you mentioned that one thing that I've thought about outside of the obvious right now is saving lives, is that we're losing a lot of very prized real estate that has been used in films and became landmarks almost. And one thing I don't want to think about is the number of original 35 millimeter prints and movies that were being backed up to eventually be digital but have never gotten that far, that this wildfire will just take out with random stock houses full of cinema that they haven't gotten around to figuring out what it is yet. So this fire is just not harming human beings and things of that nature, which is really the focus right now. But in the long run, this fire is taking out a potentiality of a lot of our entertainment history. And that's very, very sad.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Like a lot of culture and all that is just going to be, just from the film and all the stuff we're just talking about, is going to be just gone. And yes, we care about the people first and foremost. That's the most important. But just it's like after that, there's other things that you're just like, holy shit.
This is a big enough disaster that it has a ripple effect for a long time.
Yes.
Not in many things. This is just one of the items.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So, again, we're going to try our best to help do what we can do.
Yeah.
And entertain you guys and raise as much funds as we can to help LA out there. But now, onto this movie, The Dead Don't Die.
It was an interesting take on the zombie movie.
It was interesting. It wasn't zombie enough for me. I feel like everything just started. It didn't happen. It happened too late in the movie. It happened too late in the movie, and I feel like it happened too late in the movie to where it can like really pick up and make it like more entertaining with the zombies. I wish we got to see more kills. A lot of the stuff was like off screen or just like off screen or off scene even. Like you're gonna do a cool kill and then just change the whole fucking scene. Like what the fuck? Why? I don't mind the comedy. I love a horror comedy.
And they're doing the fourth wall shit.
I don't even mind that too. I would have enjoyed it more with more violence in it, honestly. More of like a horror.
Well, the fourth wall thing, like I thought it was gonna be the jokes weren't funny enough. like when they do the fourth
Well,
wall.
they were supposed to be so obviously,
Yeah.
like,
yeah,
stoically fourth wall. It's like, okay, so I actually saw this movie twice when it was in theaters, and my first take on the movie was total fucking hate this. It was the biggest, like, Jim Jarmusch does a zombie film. It just sounded amazing. So my first take on this film was very negative, and I had to watch it within the same week. Again, not of my choice, but it was whatever. I've come across it off and on television, but this time watching it, I think it actually held up a lot better than it was when it happened. When it came out in 2019, I'll be the first to say that this is Jim Jarmusch's worst film, but it's made competently by trying to not be competent. So,
My grandmother said that if you don't have anything nice to say, you shouldn't say anything at all.
Well, as a podcaster, your grandmother's wrong. No disrespect.
You mentioned before about how Jarmusch, finding meaning in Jarmusch, whatever. I've seen interviews with him in which he talks about, how most of his films are shot, and they're not shot in sequence. And he goes by a theory that every shot that involves actors is like an individual movie. Like you act for the scene as opposed to for the whole. And that is kind of his signature style, which does lead to kind of a disjointedness, sometimes a slowness, sometimes, it just does it. It can play negatively with the viewer because there's not really a consistent flow. But what was kind of, angering me when I saw the movie, besides the fact that, Jim Jarmusch does zombies with, Bill Murray, Adam Driver, and the RZA. I mean, this is going to be great. This is a director who has visited and recreated genre films. Dead Man, 2 and 1, Ghost Dog, the gangster film, the samurai film, Only Lovers Left Alive. All three of those films, I give an easy 7.58. So, I mean, he has done this kind of thing before. Also, I've heard him in interviews say that it was a 7-week shoot. He basically just reached out to people who were available and wanted to come together, and it was kind of thrown together like coffee and cigarettes, which is my second least favorite of his movies. But that's, try to give a little bit of insight on where he would go.
My thing is, it fooled you a little bit. Like when they introduced Selena Gomez and they're like making her furry, like she's like the good girl, and the two guys are like, eh. I thought they were gonna die and she was gonna survive and meet up with that hardware store kid.
Oh yeah.
But it went like you said, there's like no sequence. It was like, oh, they're there. They didn't even show them die. The guy just goes back. The zombies walking and they get the whatever they did last or whatever. I forgot what they're obsessed with. He was like, he was just saying, was it Cleveland or something like that? Then it went to a different scene with Bill Murray and shit. They came back and they're dead in the bed. I'm like, what the fuck happened? You pay Selena Gomez for one scene?
Hey, listen.
I was like, God, man.
There are a lot of people in this movie. Some things they just couldn't afford.
There is a lot of people in this movie.
That's the downside of it too, though, because it's like, if that's what it really was budget with some of the kills and all that, I don't know what the hell they just were. I don't know, man. This is a disappointment.
Iggy Pop was the first one of the male first zombie. The one coffee.
Speaking of violence,
make a shake his head. Something's brewing. He's about to erupt.
Speaking of violence,
Jim Jarmusch is that? No, you're right. Sorry, go.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Now
You're
I've
good.
lost my train of thought.
Not you.
I
It's not you.
You were talking about violence.
No, it's no. I'm not talking about violence.
Well, James was talking about violence.
No, James.
Oh, I'm sorry. You go. What were you talking about?
Okay.
Violence?
Well, we can talk about it later, but I was just curious what everybody felt about the zombies being killed and it being dust.
Yeah, that was weird too.
That threw me
That
off,
was kind of weird.
It threw me off.
It was like kind of like their demon possession. You chop their head off and all the spirit comes out.
Jim Jarmusch is there are different types of filmmakers that enter film school or get into filmmaking and stuff like that in the beginning. And there's talented ones and then there's not. And Jim Jarmusch is not. Jim Jarmusch has a lot of friends. He makes movies. He was punk rock because he did all this quirky shit. And all it is, is, it'd be cool. That's how it starts. It'd be cool. Mm-hmm. And the next thing's, it'd be cool. And the next thing's, it'd be cool. And then they write it down and they just keep going, it'd be cool. And then we do this and, and then you get this movie. And so many like it. And they drive me crazy because there's no substance. And then we do, like, I see him compared to like Lynch, who is brilliance, is true filmmaking brilliance. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't even kiss his boots. Like, that's just, it's not, I'm sorry. Jarmusch just sucks, man.
Yet again, Mick, you and I don't see eye to eye. This doesn't happen very often.
I'll talk to Lynch all day long, and that man borderline the substance. Like I said, where Jarmusch is, be cool, be cool, be cool. Lynch was at least like in his shower, and he's like, thought, existential thought. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna make a movie out of this, and then it's like weird shit, but at least there's some substance of like something. There's a nugget there. Whereas like Wes Anderson's like too much substance. It's like dial it back a little bit. That is my gauge of the borderline. They're more abstract than absurd filmmakers, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And he's low level. I can't take Jarmusch. And I have another reason for hating this movie too. And a more personal one. I remember because I love Bill Murray. I wanted to see this movie. I was like, great lineup. Maybe he's due for one. And I asked my wife, I was like, let's make a date night of it. And she was gonna go and it was like, we're gonna go see this movie. It's like, it's a zombie movie, but it's not really gonna be like a crazy all-out zombie movie. Like, it's gonna be fun. And I really thought that. I really thought this movie was gonna be fun. So we stop off at my mother-in-law's, drop off the kid. They're watching the kids that night, and my mother was like, what are you going to see? I was like, we're going to see The Dead Don't Die, with the new Bill Murray movie, and blah, blah, blah. And my mother-in-law looks at both of them and says, why do you always have to see the things you want to see? And I was like, and my wife and I got into like, we bickered and we didn't go see the movie.
Damn.
And I got annoyed. No, it was fine. Like, we made up and stuff. No, I was like, I'm like, what's going on, Chad, man? I really wanted to see that movie. So I waited till it came out. I was so let down by it. You know how I feel about this movie? You remember The Menu, which is one of the greatest fucking movies ever made. The Menu, when he invites John Leguizamo, the actor, just like he tells the tale of like he went to see a movie and he just like despised it. That's this movie for me. That's just like, I would invite Jim Jarmusch to my island restaurant if that was metaphorically.
Be careful with those words, Mick. Don't mention.
No.
Even films like Mystery Train and Night on Earth.
I don't know if I ever seen those.
I mean, that's early Jim career, but I can't say
This might be the first movie I've seen of him.
Probably for me.
This
too.
is the worst introduction, in my opinion, known to mankind.
I didn't mind the one about the Stooges.
Mm-hmm.
Which one was that? I don't know. He did something about the Stooges, didn't he? Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong.
I don't believe so. No.
He's like, nope, wrong director. I still hate him.
All right, well then it's not him. Screw him.
But
Whoever did the Stooges movie did a good job.
Is one of the most existentially romantic films ever made. I mean, I'm gonna fight for Jim because I don't think he's a talentless hack. I mean, that would be kind of like, saying, early Lars von Trier is kind of like a talentless hack. Which one could throw at my face and say that also, but I was raised on these art films. That's that was I didn't get into horror until I was about 16. So
I say we bail on this and talk about Lynch.
I don't know about Lynch.
I can tell one funny story about this movie, and it involves Bill Murray. So Bill Murray, in the middle of a scene that did not involve him, he decides to get Chloe and Adam Driver together, and they take the police car, and he decides to go joyriding throughout the town, stopping, talking to people, and basically he doesn't notice the fact that there is virtually no gas, and that becomes a huge monster, which in itself, the scenes with Adam Driver had to be shot in 3 weeks, because that's when he was going to do Star Wars. So, a 7-week shoot, and a majority of your stuff has to be, smacked into 3 weeks.
Damn.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was not the best situation. And really, I mean, it's not a good movie. I'm not gonna, sit here and say, this is a masterwork. Good God.
I'll give you Ghost Dog.
Ghost Dog is fucking awesome.
I'll give you that. I didn't mind Broken Flowers either.
I've never seen it, but it's something I would watch just by the title.
Ghost Dog.
Probably had.
He really does bail on
nothing.
A lot of
is it horror? It's probably nothing to do with horror, huh?
No, Ghost Dog is.
No. Ghost Dog is Forrest Whitaker, whole score by the RZA. Good stuff.
And Only Lovers Left Alive is this wonderful Twilight-esque romp for women in their late 40s to early 50s.
Seriously? I'm sorry.
It's what's that movie from The Hunger? It's basically it's The Hunger again, and it's just listen. I love Bowie. I love The Hunger.
I don't. Yeah.
And only Lovers Left. I just I don't know. Missed for me. Ghost Dog though. I agree. Ghost Dog.
I don't think I've seen any of those movies.
I haven't heard of them.
Watch. I mean,
Down by Law, films like that. I mean, I was, exposed, when they came out because, I'm lucky enough to have a parent that was video store obsessed. And I think those movies are really, really amazing. And there is a certain time there in which Jarmusch changes from this like weird, sarcastic, stoic style of filmmaking to start doing things like Dead Man, stuff like that. But that's just one of the things that Mick and I don't see eye to eye, and that's Jim Jarmusch.
I mean, I still say like, check everything out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, don't everything we're saying, like watch it for yourself. Like,
it's everybody's personal opinion.
Just like I never went at film school, it wasn't like I was like, you shouldn't be here. No, like you can be that, it'd be cool guy. Go be. I don't want to do that. You hire me, I'll do it. That's a different tale. And I don't have to like it to work on it. I'll just do my best. I'll try and make your film better. Anyway, I can in my little position.
But let's jump into ratings really quick. James, what do you got for us? Keyboard.
It was just okay for me. I'm going to give it a 5.
Okay. Hang on. A 5, you say? How about you, Trevor?
Yeah.
A 5.5.
5.5.
I'll actually go along with the IMDb rating.
That's fair. What about you, Mick?
I will give this movie, because of Tilda Swinton scenes are funny, and there's a couple other chuckle moments. And that's really the only thing I'm going to say about this movie, that it was good. So I'll give it a 2.
Oh, wow. I'm giving it a 3. Again, I love horror comedies, but I wish there was more horror with this.
Well,
I wish there was better.
Well,
comedy.
that too, but I prefer more of a horror thing with, like, if you kept this same comedy in it, but more of the horror element with it, it would have been better.
Well, because I didn't think that was funny when they're in the diner people died and they come in. It's like, was it Wild Animal or several? And they did it 3 times. Every person that came up to him. I was like, that's not funny.
Well,
like,
Mick does have a very, very, good point when it comes to Jarmusch, but especially this movie. And that is, it is not the best way to start a film when everybody goes, ooh, this is a cool idea. To the point that your desire to make a film more based on themes is relevant to anything in the film. So yes, so the relevant themes, of course, go back to, the beginning of the 68, capitalism as zombies. Very in your face anti-fracking film, and very much a film about, what mankind can do. Now, I brought up The Dust simply because since I saw that movie, I was like, what's with this? It just makes no sense to me. And it actually hit me watching it this time. And this could be out there and I've never heard it, but I think it was actually a choice if you follow the concept that the earth is moved from its axis via fracking, which is supposed to be the start of the movie. Fracking creates this stuff called cilia dust, and cilia dust is one of the oldest known medically known carcinogens, and it spews it out in massive amounts. So, yet again, if you make a movie that's too much about message without content, it becomes overblown, a little too in your face, and everything seems so amazingly unbalanced. But I do think that they had good intentions when they made the film. It just didn't come out that way.
All right. After hearing that, my rating's a 1.
This guy. A 1? Oh,
Yeah.
So stupid. It's such a stupid movie.
I love that I got you to go down a rating.
That is a stupid concept, though. The earth tilt and make zombies. What? Oh, it's supposed to make earthquakes, like they said in the movie. They're supposed to be about eruptions.
Well, all that stuff shown on television.
Tidal waves.
Because that's all people need to know.
Oh my god! This
in the scene in the juvie, all the stuff that you would need to know about what's going on in the world is shown in a sequence, and that's that's all every people need to know. What television tells them. So
at this point,
yet again, I'm gonna try to slip one in for Jim. So maybe that didn't sound right.
It didn't, but it was fun.
Jim definitely slipped one in
for
us
not
with this
jar
movie.
moist. So
my name is Jim, and I'm taking that Jim out.
My name is.
I'm dropping down to
My
a
name
4.
is Jimmy Durax.
I love it that
Oh shit!
Oh, we're watching
what we
next.
got next.
Whose choice is next?
Yours or Trevor's?
Go with Trevor's. It's better. I'd rather do that one.
It's probably gonna be insane.
It is. It's a good
Both are
one.
fun with great films.
Undead or white zombie? What's it gonna be?
Come on.
Oh,
No,
White
I
Zombie
walked with
sounds like a
zombie.
porn name.
White zombie's another one.
Thank you for popping your head in.
Undead.
Awesome.
Nice. Be a first.
You should still watch I Walk with
Okay.
the Dead.
No, that'll be the week after.
Oh, that's right. There are 2 more weeks in
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
We need to work.
We put enough movies.
We got to get in the lab, man. We got to start working. We got to get this thing off the ground. You're my eyes and ears. I need everybody to spread the word. But I got to pick a charity, so we'll do that tomorrow.
Oh, awesome.
Yes. And let me know because I got a STURD vision tomorrow, so I can drop the. If you have everything, we'll talk after the show.
When we're in the lab, we can do it. Are you in the lab tomorrow?
Cool.
I can be.
Were you in the lab today?
I can be.
Yeah, I was working from home today.
Oh shit! I don't know what I was doing.
I should swing by the lab stuffs more. I don't.
Hell yeah!
Enjoying it?
Hell yeah!
What is that wheel thing on the side there? Is that a lobster holding a wheel?
No, it's one of those like skeleton hands, like that, and I just put the wheel right under it.
It's got a Venom meets like caviar look.
Oh man, this movie! I wish this movie was fucking better. Like the
As
past
a
2
Jarmusch
movies,
fan, I agree with you.
the past 2 movies I enjoyed. I know Trevor didn't care for the last one, and then we got this. But I'm hoping these next 2 are more. I'm hoping they're more entertaining for us. I'm hoping they're a good time. And
This got thrown in my face because last week I said that a zombie movie is a zombie movie. Like you sit back and they're just fun. But this one, I'm like, oh, that's just fucking. They slapped me in the face and proved me wrong.
See, you had to keep saying it.
Well, that's
And then, which next month?
I mean, it wasn't horrible. It's just not what I thought it was going to be.
Next month they're doing film.
I thought it was going to be like you said, more zombie and stuff.
I thought that too. With the comedy in it, but it wasn't. And then
you're thinking the zombie comedy.
Then they brought. Wait a minute, real quick before we forget. What the fuck? They added aliens into it.
Just one.
Because it's Jarmusch. You know, it'd be cool.
Yeah,
you know,
it'd be cool. The weird chick with the swords. She's an alien. We're gonna come and save her.
That was
cool.
like
There's a
funny.
coroner, and she's a ninja, and that's what happens in this small town. You know,
like cool. She's used.
It was a ripoff of Kill Bill.
Oh, there was a lot of Okay, so the weird thing about this movie that also, so you had that whole element of like trying to make social commentary, but there's also this element of, and this is kind of the reason why I don't like Coffee and Cigarettes, which is another kind of episodic, let's get 2 people together and they're just going to ramble about shit movie. But this one is that, and then you bring everybody's fucking geekdom in, which usually works, but it is so all over the place and disjointed, where another director, there would be kind of a flow. I mean, okay, Woo PS, RZA, great joke. And that's kind of the only thing this film has to offer. Great jokes that are played too many times. Nobody's brought up the Soldril Singdril, I can't say his name. Soldril Singdril song, The Dead Don't Die, which we hear endlessly, which was written to be a bad song. It's just, it's not satisfying.
Everything you're talking about, I know in your head you're saying to yourself, oh, he definitely said, it'd be cool. I know everything.
The problem with him is he doesn't say, would that be cool? He says, this would be cool. Then he asks everybody else what would be cool. And then they all sit around and talk about what would be cool. And then eventually they film something. He wants them not to go by the script. He wants them to improvise, but he deals with actors who refuse to improvise. So you've got actors that are working off a script with other ones that are not. So yeah, Jarmusch's films are a fucking mess, but I think a lot of them are great.
How do you think Coffee and Cigarettes started? He watched Dinner with Andre once and he was like, it'd be cool. And then he started inviting people to talk about it. And he's like, but it'd be cool in 2003. Not not going back and sitting at a nice restaurant and talking. It's cooler if we have cigarettes and we're at a diner and drink coffee or do that. Like, yeah,
Wait, that's
cool.
the whole movie?
Basically.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
There's
yet again, like this film, that was a Jarmusch film that everybody who was a fan was like, oh, wow, this is a no-brainer. This is going to be great. This is just going to be, Jesus, like, Iggy Pop and Tom Waits talking about whatever over this. And then you go see it and you're like, oh my God, I'm really fucking bored.
What is this?
This is what happened with this film too. And Mick hit the nail on the head. I mean, when it works with Jarmusch and he collaborates correctly, you do get things like Mystery Train, Night on Earth, Ghost Dog. I don't care what anybody says. Only Lovers Left Alive. But if it gets too big, okay, so example, Focus Films released this film with total control by Jarmusch, except they did not deliver his desired budget. Now this goes to Mick, and I'm going to give this one to Mick too. So what does Jarmusch do? He goes over the budget exactly what he originally asked for.
Damn.
That's a real dickish thing to do. And also, especially from a film company that did everything they possibly could to make this film happen because it was a Jarmusch film. So is he maybe a little irresponsible at times? Yeah, but there are a lot of directors who could say that.
I will give you
Trevor, that Lovers one's that's the vampire movie, right?
I will always
I seen that. Okay, I did see one of his movies before.
I will always give credit to Ghost Dog. But even if you think about Ghost Dog, it's just you saying, it'd be cool. Samurais and gangsters in Jersey City, New Jersey. Yes, that's where it takes place. That's where it was filmed. I remember. So when it's just truly like it's like one movie in this man's career I would go to bat to say like he did good on. That's my level with Jim Jarmusch.
Does the hometown thing help?
No, he ain't from my own.
No, I mean because you said it was in Jersey City. I'm saying, does that help?
Ghost Dog, it helps Ghost Dog's case.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I meant for you to
that movie. Yes, I say watch that movie. Yes.
Okay, so this maybe doesn't sound like a great thing to say, but not about what everybody does. But Jarmusch films, because probably the amount of endo on the sets of those films is so amazing. Jarmusch films are like the equivalent of stoner metal that Sleep is. Jim Jarmusch is art house stoner films. I'll be honest.
Until Kevin Smith showed up and promptly said, guess what? I add stories. Maybe not the best of stories. Maybe not I'm not going to go to bat on the best stories ever written or anything. Listen, but if we're taking that route, which I know Jarmusch is much younger. He started early 80s and stuff like that. So like, he started earlier. So he was a veteran by the time he rolled in. But if you really want to take that stoner element to it, that's a good comparison to the two. And I'm going to say this: Jim Jarmusch don't have that type of substance.
Well, so Jarmusch in the days when his prime stuff came out, I mean, not to bring up Von Trier again, but he and Von Trier are very similar in the fact that it was a time in which there was a lot of experimenting with slow cinema on a more commercial level. Slow cinema has existed as long as cinema exists, but he was part of kind of an echelon of art house directors, and that's kind of where he's important. And also, I think he brings a lot of the avant-garde, if anybody's heard his music or anything, to the table. But Yeah, I mean, I do love him, but I also am the first person to say I understand why you don't.
Here's what